Welcome to DOWL Team Talk. I'm Stewart Osgood, the President and CEO of DOWL. This is a series called Ask the Boss. Questions were submitted by our employees in 4 categories, and I'm going to answer them in one of the categories today. The 4 categories are professional development, DOWL's future, internal management, and client management. This is the 3rd in the series, and it's on internal management, and there will be a personal question tossed in to keep me on my toes. Question number 1. What do you do for fun? I enjoy cycling in the wintertime as well as in the summertime here in Alaska, and I enjoy fly fishing, both of which I would like to do more of, but those are the 2 things that keep me busy outside of work and home and family commitments. If you could change one thing about DOWL, what would it be? I guess one of the things I worry about in our organization is that we've created a culture of proper accountability. And I think that it's important that we always be in a situation where we're rewarding the people who give the most to the organization, and that we're coaching and bringing along the people who maybe are struggling or a bit off the pace in the organization. There's a balance there to be achieved, and many of the owners talk about the fact that we really need to make certain that we're always striking that proper balance and making sure that the people that give the most get the most. Why does DOWL focus on billable percentages? Aren't there other metrics that better define how I am performing and the company is performing? Yeah, there are a number of metrics. None of them are so easy to measure on a daily basis, really, as billable percentage. The reason we focus on that is because we know what our utilization rate is on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Certainly production hours is another way to look at it, but it's really tough to tell how we're doing. I don't think that billable percentages is the only answer to our health, but it's a very important one. And I kind of sometimes relate it to the fact of, if you go into the doctor, one of the things they do is they make sure that your heart's beating, you have a pulse, and they check to make sure that your blood pressure is within normal ranges. You can still be very ill and have those 2 metrics work out. But if those 2 metrics, if you don't have a heartbeat and you don't have any blood pressure, they've got to get right on it and solve it. So it's one very basic factor that determines the health of our company, and it relates perfectly to our profitability year over year over year. We hear management repeat that profitability is a choice. What exactly does that mean? Collectively and in the aggregate, we make decisions every day about what percentage of our day, of our week, of our minute are we going to spend doing things that our clients want to pay for, and what percentage are we going to do things that our clients will not pay for and don't want to pay for. And that again comes back to that utilization, but we choose that. Collectively, each and every one of us choose, am I going to go to a conference? Am I going to go to training? Am I going to go to a DOWL Team Talk? Or am I actually going to be doing things that I can directly bill my client for and collect on? And we need to get that balance correct, again, to keep the health of the company where we need it to be. Without that, really, we're in a triage situation. The company does very well with larger offices, for example, Anchorage and Billings, but seems to struggle to make money in smaller offices. What's the plan to reconfigure the organization to be more productive and profitable? I'm not certain I agree with the assertion that you have to have a large office to be profitable. We have examples in Fairbanks and Juneau and in Lander of dynamic offices in relatively small communities that are very successful, profitability-wise, and that are growing and kind of punching way beyond their weight for the size of their community. We also have very, very small offices in extremely large metropolitan areas. So I don't think that I would say that the offices struggle to be profitable because they're small. I think the offices are small because they struggle to be profitable. And I think that Seattle and Phoenix would be prime examples of that. So there certainly is a carrying capacity. There's a certain floor that we want to be at. But we have very small offices in big markets, and we have some very big offices scale-wise in small markets that do very well. So I'm not certain I agree with the assertion that we cannot make money in smaller communities. What does DOWL do with the profits of the firm? So whenever you see us report on the profitability of the firm, that's the gross profit. That is the money we billed our clients and that we collected, that's important, versus all the money we spent on everything that we do, from buying trucks to making payroll to all of that. And then hopefully there's a black number at the bottom. Just to name several items, first of all, of course, we pay taxes, and the taxation of the company flows through to the individuals that own the company. So all of us are paying taxes at the proportion of our ownership. That's number one, and Uncle Sam likes us to do that first. We also invest in the growth of the company, and that might be mergers and acquisitions, and it might be new survey equipment, and it might be starting a lab in Gillette. There are a lot of places that we invest. It might be tenant improvements in an office. So we need to have profits to be able to invest back into the company. We need to be able to reward the employees, through bonuses, through salary increases, through training. Through growth and development opportunities. So all of that requires us to have black numbers on the bottom line. We also need to reward the owners. Many of the owners of this company took out loans to buy stock and have been are enthusiastic owners, but they also need to be rewarded for that investment. Otherwise, they may choose to leave our company, take their talents with them, and invest their money elsewhere. So we need to reward them. And we also need to fund our ownership transition. We have people that are spending their career with us, and then they get to the end of their cycle, and they want to sell their shares to younger up-and-coming members, and we need to help with the funding of that ownership transition. What's your biggest problem, and how can I help you solve it? So I'm going to limit, I've got a lot of problems, I'm going to limit this to business problems. And say, like most of you, I wish the days were longer. I wish I had more hours in the day to accomplish the things I'd like to do at work, the things I'd like to do to care for myself physically, emotionally, otherwise. So I would like more time. But that's kind of a cop-out probably on the answer. I guess the other thing I'd like to do is, or the other problem that I would like to solve or spend more time on is, I'd like to spend more time coaching people and getting better alignment throughout the organization at the direction that we're headed. To be able to go to our office and talk about all the great things that are happening around the company and where we want to go. So I guess that does relate back to the time element also. Well, that concludes this session. Thank you for joining us today. We have one final Ask the Boss segment. It's on client management. If you have other ideas on topics, please send them to info@dowll.com. Thank you.